It's time for some football, is what time it is. You can tell I have a phenomenal staff. It's not about me. You always hear about the head coach or the quarterback, but it's everybody else. It's the whole group. It's from A to Z. Everyone that does everything in our program, from the student trainers are there at 5 a.m. in the morning, from the cleaning crew, from the people that are cooking our food and treating our players tremendously, from our trainers, our equipment managers that work tirelessly. It's about everybody. It's a humbling experience to be the head coach at Colorado. It's a lifetime dream to be a BCS head football coach. I couldn't think of a better place to be than the University of Colorado, the tradition, the history. I can't tell you how proud I am to be here. I want to thank a few people real quick. First and foremost, my gorgeous wife, Tricia, please stand up. And all that she means to us. And, you know, she has a rough football season. She has a football game today, she has a football game tomorrow, and she has a football game Sunday. She has 3 a week, so it's tough being a mom. I'd like to thank Bruce Benson and Phil DeStefano for believing in me when we met, looking in their eyes and understanding what they wanted to achieve, and their sincereness to me really meant a lot. And honestly, it motivates me every day, and I really appreciate their believing in me. I'd like to also thank Tad Boyle, who's become a very good friend of mine, and he's been extremely successful here. I know you should be extremely proud of him, but he's also a great man. And his friendship is meant more than he even knows to me. I'm excited about Rick George. We've kind of crossed paths through friends through the years. As soon as it was announced that Rick George was hired, I got a phone call literally 10 minutes later from a man named Archie Manning. And that's Peyton and Eli's dad, and who I've known for a long time. And he said, y'all just hit a grand slam. And I'm excited about Rick being here. I'd like to thank Dr. Clough, our faculty athletic rep. I've been at a lot of schools. I haven't been at a school yet that had a guy as involved and as passionate about football, about athletics, about students. I really appreciate his guidance and how he's helped me with a lot of things since I've been here, and I really appreciate his tireless work. Then I'd like to thank Seal Berry. You know, Seal, if you walk in the championship trophy area, she must have 15 trophies in there. It kind of blew me away. And her time as an interim athletic director was a great time for me to get to know her. We had a few situations we had to work through, and she handled it professionally. I gained a lot of wisdom from her, I really did, and I really appreciate her leadership and also what she's meant to this university, is really amazing. And I've also learned her competitive spirit. She is a fighter, and I see that in her every day. And she gives, every time I see her, she doesn't know this, but I kind of get that feeling. And I really appreciate her fight and her enthusiasm. I appreciate you, Seal. Well, it's football time. As I said, it's time to play. I'm kind of wearing 2 hats right now. Sometimes you have a speaking hat. As a coach, you got to take off hats. Well, I've got half a speaking hat on, and my mind is on that football field. So forgive me if I'm a little off here, because I'm intense and I'm ready to go. Our kids are too. They're excited. We've had 24 practices now. Our kids have practiced hard. They've worked extremely hard. Our coaches have gone tirelessly working with these young men. They're not lying to you. We've got tremendous amount of repetitions. Sometimes it looked a little ugly in practice. And the last 4 or 5 practices, from the third teamers to the first teamers, we've kind of just clicked. We've been more Practice has been smoother. Not as many corrections have been able to be made. Kids are running to the ball. There's more athleticism. There's not as many balls being dropped. And there's ball security, trying to strip the ball. All the things that you've been coaching every day are starting to come to fruition. Our special teams is coming together. That's a really hard area, especially when you're a new staff. You're trying to find out who you're going to be playing offense and defensively, who you're traveling, who your backups are going to be. And so you're trying to figure all that out to get your special teams the best you can get them. Special teams is critical. We have a phenomenal special teams coach that understands that. Our staff works tirelessly in that area. That needs to be a winning edge for us. Not just our kickers and punters, who I think are excellent, but our coverage units and our protection units are extremely important. Especially in the first few games, that's where a lot of the game changes. And you've got to be excellent in that phase. And I feel like that we're working hard, and I feel like our kids understand the urgency of that. Offensively, I think that we are doing a good job. We named our starting quarterback the other day, Connor Wood. The reporters asked me, why did Connor win the job? And I said, well, he's 6'3 3/4. He's 226 pounds. He runs a 4.5. He can flick the ball 60 yards. He's a 3-point-something student. He was elected team captain, and he knows the offense. So I said, I think he's done everything we've asked. Now he's just got to go do it in the game, and I think he's prepared to do that. We have some quarterbacks behind him that I think are very talented, and so in today's world, it always seems like you have to play another quarterback with concussions and different things that happen. So you need to have other guys ready to play and be able to win football games. So I feel good about our other quarterbacks. Offensively, I think our offensive line is starting to gel. I feel like we have 7 to 8 guys that can mix and match and play all different positions on the offensive line that are ready to play Pac-12 football. Wide receiver core, I think, is explosive. I think we have a lot of good wide receivers that can make plays for us. I've been very excited with our running backs. We have some quick, fast little guys, some strong, powerful guys, and so I'm pleased with what they're doing. We just got to put it all together on Sunday. Defensively, I feel like we've really improved. We're going to weigh in our D linemen tomorrow, and to be honest with you, I know 2 of them have lost over 30 pounds. And that's a commitment at their age to do that, to understand what they needed to do. They're still 300-pounders, but they've lost over 30 pounds. And so they can move. They've been more active. I don't see them, huffing and puffing and basically trying to survive practice. I see them getting better in practice. That'll make a big difference. They'll make more tackles for loss. They'll be a step closer to the quarterback to harass the quarterback, to help our pass defense. Everybody always talks about the secondary, and it is definitely important. But the best pass defense is a nervous, scared quarterback that's on his back. So we plan on doing that and trying to harass the opposing quarterback. So I feel good about our defensive line. Our linebacking core has really improved. They're getting better and better. They're starting to completely understand their run fits, which is extremely important in our new defense. Our secondary, our corners are growing up, and I feel like they have made big strides. Safety-wise, they're doing well there and improving. We've improved leap years in the secondary from spring practice. So I've been pleased with that, and our special teams, as we talked about earlier, are getting better and better. A little bit, they asked me to talk about the expectations of the season. Here's what I believe, and here's what I always believe, and so will our staff, and so do our players now. When I talked to Bruce Benson, I asked him one question on the interview. And some people say, well, you shouldn't say this as a coach because you're going to be held to expectations. Rick said in a minute, high expectations. I asked Bruce, I said, Bruce, what do you expect out of the football program? And I asked Phil the same thing. And they said, 12-0, win them all. I said, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Because if they would have told me, go 6-6, do this. And I understand, they understand we've got to build it, but that's what they're shooting for. That's what we're going after. So our players, when I talk to them about expectations, I talk to them about every single game is a season within itself, a complete season within itself. Every game you go into as a football coach, it's a different team you're playing. It's a different type of philosophy they're running offensively, defensively. But also you as a coach, you take in a different team. That's the difference in football usually than other sports. You have injuries every single week that don't show up the next week. So a lot of times the next week you go into a game and 20% of your starters the week before aren't even dressed out. Now they might come back 2 weeks later or a week later. So that's why it takes a number of guys being prepared at all times. So we look at every game, and we look at every game we're going to attack that we're going to win it. Most people look at your schedule and go, well, you can beat them, you can't beat them, you can't beat them, you can beat them, you can beat, you're probably going to win 6 or 7. Not us, not our kids, not our coaches. It's an all the time, everyday thing for us. So those are our expectations. They always will be, and they'll always stay that way. CSU game. I can tell you one thing. Our players, our coaches, and myself, we're not sleeping right now. We are jacked up for this game. We do not take this game lightly. We don't take anything about it lightly. This is a big, big deal. It's extremely important, okay? This is what I call a 365-day-a-game year. What that means is you talk about it for 365 days a year. And so we want to make sure when we're talked about and our kids go to the restaurant and our coaches go out somewhere, or I go to a Monarch High School football game next week, that they're talking about how we beat CSU. That's what I want to hear, and that's what our kids want to hear, because the alternative is not very pleasant at all. I'd like to talk first real quickly about, we're going to show a video here of the history of Folsom Field and Medford. One of the former players and our academic advisor is going to talk to you a little bit about it. I cannot wait to play here in Folsom Field and coach. I'm also extremely, extremely excited about going to Denver. I coached in the Georgia-Florida game when I was a graduate assistant, and the stadium was split in half. One side was black and red, the other side was orange and blue, and it was very, very interesting. I'm excited about what's going to happen this Sunday, and I can't wait to see all the black and gold in the stands. It's football time. Let's watch this video. The head football coach for that team is here. Gary Barnett, would you please stand up? I don't know about you, but that makes the hair on my back and the neck just stand up like crazy. We need you at Folsom Field. I know you know that. We need you there Sunday. I know you know that. The passion, the excitement, I can't wait to experience. And I can't wait to help magic moments like that come about in the very near future, along with you, along with our staff, along with everybody that's involved. It takes all of us, and all of us going in the right direction. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to invite all the head coaches, include you, Tad, because you can really sing. Y'all need to all come up here. We're going to sing the fight song. And so everybody stand up. Head coaches, y'all got to come on over. Linda Lappy can really sing. We probably ought to give her a mic.
It's your season, man. Let's go. Let's go. 5, 6.